Hello everyone. Welcome to another weekend of a webinar series. Today we're going to be looking at maximizing potential, and because this is a very in-depth topic, we're going to be looking at we're going to do it in parts rather. And this week we're going to look at what we refer to as potential, genius, and the general overview of what self-development is. Along the way, we're going to look at what are the characteristics of genius, or what are the qualities of genius, what is potential, what is self-development. And over the course of a couple of weeks, we might have up to part 3, 4, 5. I don't know how we're going to go, but just because we want to keep this as a 30 minutes webinar series, we're going to be focusing on potential, genius, and self-development. I hope you all had a wonderful week, and I hope you all looked at the very first webinar series. And I apologize that there has been no notice to these. I've decided to do it as a recording and putting it up for people who want to just have a listen and probably learn one or two things. It's not compulsory, but we hope to get to as many people as we can. So let's kick off. That's just another picture. That's a picture of me. Simply saying that I like to refer to myself as a teacher. In modern terms, we could call it educator. And as a coach, I prefer to refer to myself as a mindset strategist, because my focus area or my passion is in how we can change the thinking of an individual. In our case, it's going to be a young person or a youth, or someone who refers to himself as being in a state of youth. So I like to see myself as a mindset strategist because most of the times I always believe that we have everything we need, but most of the time we're caught up in a mindset that's either limiting us from doing what we want to do, or it's stopping us from being who we are or who we should be. Just a reminder to check out the very first webinar series, which is Who Are You? I'm not going to do a recap in this session because I want to encourage people to go there, because I have a feeling that people are just going to focus on one slide and forget about the others. So go check out the webinar series. It's up on the YouTube channel. Is also up on the Students Future group. Give us your feedback and suggestions on what we should talk about. That would really help tailor these recordings to suit what you really want. I'm going ahead with my ideas of what people want to discuss, but at the same time, I would love that along the way we begin to suggest and give us recommendations of what we should be talking about. There is a Facebook group. If this is your very first webinar series, join the Facebook group. Just search for Students of Future Network and you join us. If you're going to be tweeting or posting or whatever it is, you can also tag us at Students of Future, or you can just put a hashtag Students of Future. That's our YouTube channel. I encourage you all to go in. We're in the process of developing, and like I said in our very first hangout, start from where you are, and I'm starting from where I am. I don't have all the skills in terms of technology and know how to make this as exciting as I envision, but I know that it's all coming together as one day at a time. Now, to begin this session, I've always, and most of you know that I'm a lover of quotes. And because we're looking at maximizing potential, I thought this quote was just the right quote to fit this situation. Now it says, if a man has a talent and cannot use it, he has failed. And if he has a talent and uses only half of it, he has partly failed. Now if he has a talent and learns somehow to use the whole of it, he has gloriously succeeded and won a satisfaction and triumph few men ever know. Now this is by Thomas Wolfe. He's one of my I like to see him as a poet because he has a different way of thinking, but this is one of my favorite quotes, and this is what encourages me to use everything I've got, even if I'm not getting it 100%, but I'm in the process of developing. I'm going to look at what potential is and what self-development and what we as a society term as genius, and we'll break it down, and hopefully we'll get people and get all of us um, embracing who we are, our talents, our gifts, our skills, and just maximize our potential. Now, what is potential? Now, I believe that potential is just basically whatever skill, whatever gift, whatever talent is the sum total of all of these and how we use it to for the greater good. It simply says that the skills and ability which we each possess that nobody else possesses quite like we do. That's true because yes, we have several singers, but if you notice, there are a lot of singers who sing differently. They have their own they bring their own qualities to the singing. It also in any field of study or practice or career, people come with their uniqueness. They bring their uniqueness to that venture. So it's this potential is simply saying what are your skills and what are your abilities, and how is that different from the next person, even if we all have the same career, but there's something you bring to the table. So that's what potential is about. Now, like the very first quote that talks about, Thomas Wolfe says, if you have a potential and you don't use it, you failed. So this is just saying that the potential is a mix of your talents and other factors that produce potential. Potential can be regarded as the sum of talent, your personality, because we're all different, your willpower, your determination, your conviction to actually achieve something, your self-belief, what drives you, what moves you forward, what are the things that shape you, your values, your drive and ambition, your circumstances, the opportunities that come your way, and most importantly, the positive thinking by creating the right mindset. Potential is not it's about knowing who you are, but at the same time, channeling that positivity to be able to express yourself and use that potential or that skill, that talent, that gift for the greater good. That's what potential is. Now, there's this picture I just stumbled upon because it helps me express what actually happens. The human condition, there are two poles in the human condition. Now, most of the time we tend to stay where we are because we call it the comfort zone, and we consolidate from where we are. In most cases, it will have to do with the society telling us because we're supposed to study, supposed to get a job, we're supposed to have a family, and but most of us know that there's more to our lives than that. And in some cases, some people choose to stay in that position because that's all they know, and the fear of uncertainty stops them from moving forward. So one of those pools is to stay where you are and consolidate what we have. Or the other part is for people who develop a sense of curiosity, which is embracing curiosity in their lives and embracing the changes. They want to discover what is still possible. For me, I've always known that as much as I love my job, which in education, I know there's so much I want to do. I still feel there's still a lot I can do, which I haven't expressed. But at the same time, I'm creating this space for myself. And I also urge people out there to choose where you are at. If you feel that you're comfortable with where you are at and you don't want to move forward, that's fine. But and that's totally acceptable. But for those people who want to discover what's still out there, it's very important that you embrace it as it comes. It's not going to be 100% perfect. It's just going to be a phase. It might be a learning. Remember how I said we should embrace change and embrace the journey, and that's what life is all about. So now this is for you to identify what human condition you fall into. Are you the person who is comfortable with your current position and you don't feel there's more, or are you the person who knows there's more and you want to discover what it is? And I know most of us in the society, much of us choose the path of safety, and it's not It's not because we want to, it's just what we know. And part of being a mindset strategist is exploring other opportunities for the individual and helping you get to the next level in your life. Now, our talents do not depend on our background, your upbringing, your social class, your job, your ability, hence the belief that they are divinely gifted. Most people, there's this notion that people have specific gift and other people feel, oh, they're not gifted. But the truth, it doesn't have anything to do with your background, where you're from, what you studied, whatever. It's just some things come naturally, and it's up to you to choose to develop them. Now, none of us possess a greater or lesser talent than any other person, and that's one of the things I want to stress out, that we are all created in with a specific gift, talent, skill. What we have to do as individual is how can we develop that skill and use it in a way that we're not only satisfied with who we are, but we are also contributing, like we discussed last week or the fortnight ago. Now, it is their use and application which distinguishes the so-called talented from the so-called less talented. And that's what we see in society. Everyone says, oh, this person's so talented because they can do it. But it's taking that person a lot of time to develop that skill. So it's the same thing with you. Once you identify what it is, whether it's you can write, whether you can read, whether you can sing, whether you can dance, whether you're good at helping other people, you need to choose to develop yourself and move forward, and also choose to be seen as someone who's talented, because we're all talented. If we're choosing to call some people talented and some people less talented, why not embrace the fact that we're all talented, at the same time start developing these talents to be used for the greater good. Now, we fall in, or we all hear about when you say someone's a genius, Thomas Edison, people who've invented amazing things, we call them genius. Now, I was doing a research and I wanted to identify what are the qualities of genius and what stops each and every one of us from becoming a genius. Now, according to Tony Buzan and Raymond Keane, the qualities of genius include: one, vision. Now, the vision is the ability to see yourself succeeding in your goal. You need to see yourself succeeding to be able to be able to identify yourself as a genius. Now, there's the desire, the passion or wish to accomplish the goal. Faith. Now, faith is the belief that you will succeed. You need to believe in that. Planning, the definition of how to realize goals, and this is all about goal setting and working strategies to achieve those goals. Persistence, the dogged determination to reach. Now, this means yes, you fall down, you get up, you fall down, you get up, but the purpose of it is that you keep going until you find an answer. It's all about re-strategizing until you find it. They asked Thomas Edison why he never gave up when he failed 1,000 times when it came to the light bulb. I think it's Thomas Edison, I hope I'm right. And he said he only found 1,000 ways not to do it. So if you can do it 1,000 times, I wonder what we as individuals who fall once and feel like, okay, we can do this, would do. Like, I started the Student of Future. I'll use this as an example. I started the Student of Future. I actually just started blogging, but I felt there was more I could do. I could change things around. I started the Hangout. It wasn't a great success. I started the webinar series. This is me still trying to re-strategize until I find something that works and something that makes it sustainable. That's the purpose. Other qualities would include subject knowledge, a thirst to know about your subject. Now, if it's singing, you need to start looking into ideas on how to be a bit better singer. If it's science, you need to start studying more science. Find the things that make you develop that quality or that genius. The mental literacy and understanding of the brain's power. The brain is so powerful, and I hear that we don't even use as much of its power. So one of the qualities of being a genius is the mental literacy, the understanding of how your brain works, the positive attitude, a belief that things will work out despite all odds. That's very essential. Intuition. Last week I talked about the intuition, which I said most of the time is the most underutilized gift or skill or whatever it is that we're given, which we rarely use. Sometimes we call it the sixth sense. We know that something bad is going to happen, and we just ignore it because we just want to go and embrace and do that thing we shouldn't be doing. Now, the intuition is the ability to sense that something will work, and once you know that something will work, if despite the odds, you'll be persistent to keep going. The commitment, the willingness to act on the vision. Now, with every change needs to come the ability to be committed to that change and to be committed to the process of getting things done. A master group. Now, a master group is simply what would you describe as your support system? Do you have friends? Do you have a network of people? It's just a mental image of your support and the truth and awareness of what is true and what is real. Oftentimes I know that there's a gray area between setting realistic goals and setting big audacious goals. Basically, I would say from experience, do what works for you. Yes, it might not work for other people, but it might work for you. Do what works for you. Now, the courage is the ability to face fear and keep going on. Now, courage, they say, is the greatest form of vulnerability is the greatest form of courage. So I'm urging you to that if you want to develop or find yourself in the genius continuum, begin to be vulnerable and embrace that courage to keep going on. Now we want to look at self-development. We keep hearing everyone say, "Oh, I'm self-developing myself." The truth about the matter is, self-development is a do-it-yourself, and it's a do-it-yourself activity, and it's also a do-it-yourself skill. You need to do it yourself because it's you who decides. Okay, you who decides the trajectory of your life. Yes, there will be things that will stop you, slow you down, or even in some cases hinder the progress. But the basic truth is that self-development is something you do from within yourself. When you're looking at self-development, you're going to be asking yourself, what are your dreams, what are your goals, what are your passions, and what are your skills? And the most important aspect is committing to that process of developing yourself to keep being better and better. There's a very I think there's an affirmation I grew up I used to say when I was a kid: every day in every way I'm getting better and better. And that is what I believe in self-development. Yes, I've made a lot of mistakes, I've made a lot of errors, but at the same time I've learned from those mistakes. It's actually showing me that this is not going to work, and it's helping me be better and better. Now, this is I already mentioned Thomas Edison. I found this really inspiring. Now, it says, if we all did the things we are capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. And I keep asking the question, have you found yourself doing something that for some reason you felt it was effortless, but at the same time it marveled you, it just surprised you, like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. I've had times like that where I do a presentation and I think I'm gonna mess it up, but for some reason it is so amazing and I really astound myself. And this is where I know that I'm getting better and better, because right now I'm doing this presentation or this recording only once. I'm not doing it several times because I need to correct anything. I believe I'm just gonna bring my own self to the table, and I'm introducing my voice to what I'm doing. So I want to encourage us to remember this, that if we all did the things we're capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. Now, what are the key features of the maximizing potential mindset? If you want to develop that potential, that mindset to maximize your potential. Now, the key features are: you need to focus on self-improvement. This is simply saying managing the discovery of potential at minimum risk in the skill of self-development. Happiness and goals. Now, happiness is actually linked with the attainment of goals, and I'm urging you to identify in your area in your life where you felt very happy, but it was just, if you think about it, it's just because you achieved something and it gave you that satisfaction. Unique talent is a mix of talents and other factors which produces potential. Our own special genius, this is referring to our innate talent, what makes, like I said earlier, what makes you different from other people. It's the process of doing it yourself. States of existence. Now, there are three states of existence. There's a state of we wanting to survive and get by in the society. There's a state of maintenance, and there's also the state of development. Now, development is the state that everyone should focus on, which means you continuously develop yourself. It's the only state we can control. It's actually, that's very true. Survival in some cases we can't control that because we could lose our job and something bad could happen. Even maintenance, the same thing could happen. But choosing to develop yourself despite all this is something we can control. Now, it's important that you create your destiny. It's one of the features of the maximizing potential mindset. Create your destiny. You choose to create your destiny. We all have the ability to create our destiny. Now, the options of change. Let's look at the options of change. Now, when change happens, most of the time we may choose to either do nothing, or you can choose to change the situation, or leave the situation and change yourself through personal development. This is always possible. Now, it's to be a person who is embracing the maximizing potential mindset. Focus on when you identify that the change is something you can't control. You choose to control yourself and develop yourself instead, or change your mindset, or change the way you see it. Now, the greatest reward above all is create as much as our talent, ability, and desire will allow us create. Now, the reward is reserved for those who bring the greatest values to themselves and those around them as a result of who they are and who they have become. Now, this is very important because what's the essence of wanting to maximize your potential? Is either because you want to contribute to the society, like we said last in the fortnight, you want to contribute to the society, or you want to find satisfaction, or you want to experience happiness, which is because you've achieved a goal. So they said the greatest reward is being able to help other people in the process, or being able to inspire other people in such a way that they are very happy with who you've become in the process of self-development. All right, that's about it for the part one of these web series, and I'm encouraging you that for those people who want to begin this process of self-development or maximizing your potential, there's a resource for growth, and it's the book by Anthony Robbins. You can actually download it. You can get the ebook. There's some free copies on the web, but I always encourage you to buy your copy and have yours, and so you can highlight it and do whatever you need, and also teach people when you learn from the book. Now, how can you help the student to future network? This is what I continuously strive for. The Student to Future Network is a network for everybody. At the same time, is a network that I believe we ourselves can grow. Now, how can you help? Post a reflection about these web series on on the Facebook group. Maybe say something about what you learned from the web series. It could be the first one, the second one, whatever web series. Put a reflection of that on the Facebook group. Join the group session, a mentoring session, or nominate to start one. If you feel that the times we provided on the Facebook events wouldn't work for you, you can nominate a time to start one, and if it works with our schedule, I can always come and have a chat with your group. There are one-on-ones on the weekends. If you want to have a one-on-one with me as a coach, if you want to talk to a coach, or you want to get some mentoring, give me a buzz, and we can schedule a time and do a one-on-one, whether it's via Skype, whether it's by face-to-face meeting, telephone, whatever works for you. Invite your friends to join the Facebook group, Engage by asking questions and focus on adding value. I always tell my students to be solution oriented, not problem oriented or problem focused. Now, it's very important to know that your feedback is always gold. So I encourage you to give your ideas and suggestions for taking this forward. Engage by commenting, sharing ideas for success, asking questions, posting relevant resources and information. You can also view our YouTube channel and you can share with your friends. This is a group that's going to continue growing, and I'm committed to making out time to do these recordings. At the same time, I'm also encouraging people to give me their feedback and help me grow, help this group grow, and help us effect change one individual at a time. Don't forget to stay connected with us on Student to Future. Don't forget the hashtags, hashtag Student to Future, and check out the YouTube channel. I hope you've enjoyed this week's webinar series, and remember, it's titled Maximizing Your Potential. I'd like to see how you begin the journey of maximizing your potential. We've shared about what potential is, we've shared about what self-development is, and what we as a society call genius. What are the qualities of a genius? So the basic truth is that we're all geniuses. The point is actually identifying what is your genius and using your genius to its full potential. Remember that the greatest reward is what you do with, for other people, or how you contribute with your talents or your gift. In that sense, you're actually giving yourself satisfaction. I want to say a big thank you to everyone for listening to this, and I hope we can keep contributing and growing this group. And I hope to have another great conversation with us on next fortnight, and that will most likely be the part 2 of Maximizing Your Potential. Have an excellent week, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers. Bye.